If you're a business owner and you're planning to do an end of year promotion like a Black Friday, Cyber Monday, or New Year's promo to your email list, then you want to stick around to the end of this video because most business owners are about to miss out on thousands and thousands of dollars during this Black Friday and Cyber Monday season. And it's not because their offer sucks, it's because they're going to make the 3 mistakes that I'm going to reveal in this video. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Alonso Perez and I run a direct response copywriting and email marketing agency. And I've worked with coaches and course creators as well as high ticket service businesses that you probably heard of, or at the very least, that you follow on social media. And aside from that, I've also generated multiple 6 figures for clients over the last few years during this Black Friday period alone. I've been lucky enough to be part of some really well orchestrated and well planned out email promos for end of year. And I've also, on the other hand, have been part of some not so good, and dare I even say terrible end of year promotions. And so today I'm going to walk you through the biggest differences between Black Friday campaigns or end of year campaigns that print, as people say nowadays, and those that fail, especially when it comes to your email marketing strategy. Because the biggest reason why Black Friday and other end of year promos flop isn't because your offer, although the offer is very important, and it's often not the copy and not how big of a discount you're slashing off, but more important than all of it is that you're planning too late or not planning at all. So as of the recording of this video, it is November 18th. So if you haven't started planning for Black Friday, then you are already behind, my friend. So time is really ticking. You better start working on your promotion right now if you don't want to be left scrambling and sending a bunch of random emails that don't convert because you didn't have enough time to plan. Either that or you're stuck working through the holidays, missing time away from friends and family because you're trying to cram all of the work that you should have done now, and you're trying to do it within all of a couple of days. Ask me how I know. It's terrible. I've done that once or twice. And so that is mistake number 1. You have to plan. And here's what I would plan if I were you specifically, and you're sitting in this scenario where you haven't started planning, or maybe you've thought about what you want your Black Friday promo to be, but you haven't executed or put anything, or I guess formalized anything. So the first thing that I want you to look at is your offer structure and your deliverables. So not just how much you're going to slice off the regular price, but what you are going to offer and what you're going to give these people in exchange for their money. And so this should be different from what you offer year round. And so the next thing is your email sequence by day. And you really want to write this down or make a mind map of it somewhere so that it is real and you can visualize it. So you want to keep in mind of when your open cart is, how long you're going to keep your cart open for this specific promotion, and then what date and time your cart is going to close. The reason you want to do this is because you are going to want to structure the email content you're sending to your list depending on how far along in your promotion you are. For example, typically the earlier you are in your promotion, the less direct you can be, meaning that you can start with some story-based emails to first introduce the offer. But then as you get deeper into your promo period, you want to be more direct and to the point. And as you get super deep into the promotion, then you really just want to highlight what they get, why this is a good deal, and why it won't be available after. If you think about your entire promotion as kind of one big infomercial, then the first few emails in your promotion are going to be kind of like the product demo that they do during these infomercials. So if you can think back on the Scrub Daddy infomercial, so you have a product demo of someone washing a dish using the sponge, right? And then the later emails are the part where they're adding all the bonuses and slashing the price and saying, you know, it's not just this, you also get this, but it doesn't end there, right? And then there's this other thing, and then there's this other thing, and then they're slashing the price continuously. And that is to build urgency and scarcity around this offer. So that'll be the later half of your email promo. So hopefully that makes sense with that infomercial comparison. You'll also want to have a Black Friday or Cyber Monday specific page or checkout that you have within your funnel. And this takes a little bit more effort on your behalf and on your team, but it makes a difference in terms of the conversions. Usually when you have a a separate landing page or funnel that's specifically for Black Friday or Cyber Monday, it'll boost conversions that much more because, again, it increases your urgency around that specific time period. And then you want to make sure that all of your tech is in order and set up correctly, more specifically your DNS records for your domain, so that you're not going to spam and all the emails you send are instead going into the inbox. And so if you need extra help with that, we'll talk about it later a little bit more in depth in this video. But at this point, you might be thinking, that sounds like a lot of work, right? So far. And that's because it is, especially if you're a one-person team. And I think that that is why most people fail to do Black Friday and end of year promotions the right way, because they treat Black Friday like it's just another email blast or just another email campaign that they can send their list if they just add a bigger discount to whatever their offering is, which is not the case, right? It takes more strategic planning because you're competing against other people. It's not just you trying to reinvent your offer or get your offer in front of your subscribers, but it's also you competing for not just for inbox placement, but for those people's money, right? It's during this time period, it's not just your offer that they're going to see and that they're going to find attractive, but it is also Christmas shopping. It's also their family. It's also, every other course seller out there and coach is trying to pitch them a Black Friday thing and software and all of these different things, depending on what market you're in. So that is why most people fail. And so that leads me to my second point, which is the silent killer of all email and end of year campaigns. And that is re-engagement, or not re-engaging your email list. So like I said, if you're one of these people that doesn't email their list until they have something to sell them, then you definitely want to spend the time to re-engage your email list prior to starting your Black Friday promotion. Because when it comes to email deliverability, platforms like Google and Yahoo are not really playing around, especially when it comes to this time of the year, which is Black Friday. So this is when spam filters are really turned all the way up to 1,000, and it becomes that much harder to get into your subscribers' inbox because, like I said, you're competing with everyone else. There is that many more emails going through. So these email platforms have to tighten up their spam filters to make sure people are not just drowning in marketing emails. So what you need to do is if this is you, is send content-based emails to an engaged segment of your email list. Example, people that have recently clicked or opened an email from you in the last 30, 60, 90 days. And what you want to do with these people is re-engage them, send them free guides, helpful tips, and quick tangible things that they could implement immediately. So I'm specifically talking about the information product space right now where you're selling either coaching or courses online. If this is your market specifically, what I like to do is take clients' old, maybe a mini course or a resource or a guide, something that's very helpful and not expensive at all to deliver, and we can just give it to people and build up some kind of perceived value behind that, because we know that people want it, and so they will click any of the emails that we have that have those resources inside. And sometimes what I'll even do as well is that if I have a resource with high perceived value that I know that I can give away for free, then I'll make people reply to my initial emails to get it. And then I'll just drop them into a Go High Level automation that automatically sends them the resource in a follow-up message once they reply. And this trick is super powerful because not only are you showing high engagement on your email campaigns, which is what these email platforms are looking for to put you into the inbox, but for anyone who replies to your emails, your next couple of emails after that reply are pretty much guaranteed to be placed in the inbox. So this tip is super, super important when you're re-engaging people. Not only do you want to have a high click-through rate, but you also want to incorporate some places where people can reply to your emails as well. And mistake number 3, and actually, by the way, before we get into mistake number 3, if you're finding this content valuable, hit that subscribe button and like this video. It really helps me out and lets me know that this is the kind of information that you're looking for. And so mistake number 3, and that is not building hype around your upcoming offers. So if we're looking at this chronologically on a timeline, you ideally would want to have your text set up and make sure your DNS records and all the techie stuff is verified on the back end. Then you want to spend some time re-engaging your email list, giving them away something for free. This will be a few weeks before you actually start or plan to start your Black Friday promotion or even your pre-launch emails. And this is also to stress test your sending volume. And so if you have an email list of say 100,000 people or 50,000 people and you don't email them at all throughout the year, you don't want to go from 0 to 100,000 emails sent from one day to another. And so that is why it's important to also just ramp up your email sending during these periods as well. And so the next thing is your pre-launch emails, which come directly, for me, at least the way I do it, they come directly after I've given the list some kind of value. And sometimes they're even intertwined. So we give them value and then say, this is going to help you do X, Y, and Z. But what we have coming next is, greater. I'll have another example of what that looks like in practice here in one of the next slides. But what we want to do is hype this up. You want to do strategic teasing in advance, curiosity building over a few days, and really what we're looking for is to let people know that we do have something coming so that we're top of mind. Now, that doesn't mean that you reveal the entire offer all at once. It just simply means that you start talking about it or about certain elements of that offer before you announce cart open. So let me give you an example here. So one of my clients was actually launching a meditation course during Black Friday a couple of years ago. And here's more or less how I remember teasing it. So we wrote an email about abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset. And it was a pure value email. This is during our re-engagement stage of our Black Friday promo. And so at the bottom of our emails, we said something like, oh, and by the way, over the last 6 months, I've been practicing a new set of meditations focused on priming your subconscious to find abundance. And since practicing these meditations, my business has grown 2x in the time period. I've hit 2 record months for revenue, and I've had more time for my family and friends in the process, all without ever feeling like I didn't have enough time for everything. I believe this meditation is responsible for all of it. I'm still polishing it up before I tell you more about it, but it's coming very, very soon. And again, that's just me recalling what we did for that promotion because I remember it did very, very well. I'm sure the final version of it was a little bit more polished, but there I was just reading off my example that I remembered. Hopefully you can get an idea of what we did at the bottom of these emails, and then we did switch it up every email. That way we weren't using the same copy across all of the emails. So notice how we didn't have a price, that we didn't hard sell people. We basically just planted a seed of curiosity. And in fact, in some cases, you'll have people replying to those types of emails asking, what the heck you're talking about. And they'll be asking you to reveal the secret. And so I think at least that piece is really cool. And so number 4, I have it as a bonus because I know I said there was only going to be 3 mistakes that I would reveal, but I actually have 2 bonuses for you because I think they're that important. And so bonus number 1 is ignoring your email deliverability. And so this is a step that most people skip before it's too late, unfortunately. This one's important because you can have really the world's best offer and the most persuasive copy and even the perfect strategy at some points, and none of it matters if your emails don't reach the inbox, okay? And so we talked a little bit about this already, but I just want to reiterate it because it's so important. And so you want to make sure that your DNS records are optimized for email deliverability. And primarily that's your SPF, your DKIM, and your DMARC records. If you don't know how to set these up, again, I'll put a video in the cards above that walks you through step by step how to do this. It takes maybe 20 minutes if you're decently tech savvy, but it really does kind of walk you step by step. So I would check that out if you want to make sure that all of this stuff is set up. On top of setting up your DNS record, you also want to keep an eye on the following metrics. And so you want to make sure that your email delivery rate during your ramp up period is over 98.5 minimum. I usually like to actually shoot for 99% plus. That your bounce rate, you want to keep that under 1%. That goes for both hard bounce and soft bounces. Your spam complaints you want to keep as close to 0 as possible, although the upper limit of that range is from 0 to 0.03% of your total sends should come back as spam complaints. then your open rates should be 25% minimum. Most email sending platforms will inflate your email open rates. And so bare minimum, what you want to shoot for is 25%. If you want to track email deliverability or your email sending health, sure, tracking open rate is important, but where you'll get better idea of where you are is by actually tracking these other metrics along with your open rate. And so that is why I'm giving you all of these. If these numbers are off for you, that's something that you want to fix before you start your Black Friday promo, before you start sending emails, because once you start pushing hard on your Black Friday or your Cyber Monday or end of year promotions or whatever that is, bad metrics will tank even faster once you start sending more emails. So it's important for you to know that. And last bonus point is relying only on discounts. And so what I really mean to say here is that you should look to enhance your offer beyond just a discount. I mentioned this a little bit earlier. Black Friday promos aren't just about how big of a discount that you can give away and how much money you can slash off your original price, but the promotions historically that I've worked on that do really, really well actually stack value in ways that cost obviously very little to nothing to put together, but actually multiply conversions because they increase the perceived value of that offer. And so in other words, instead of slashing your price by 50%, you could keep the same price you have now and just bundle in some more of your products. Or you could bundle in and still discount 30% off instead. And so that will help you maximize more or make more from each buyer. So whatever discount you really ultimately decide to give away is really up to you. But if you want to increase the perceived value of your offer so that you don't have to discount it as much, here's how that could look like. So for info products, you can add in, like I said, limited time bonuses that are only available during Black Friday or your end of year promo. You could bundle in other courses, even older courses that you have, or tools that you've already created or that you use internally for you and your team. You can add private coaching calls just for Black Friday buyers, or you can even create some kind of special Black Friday only community or mastermind or group calls only for people that purchase during that promotional period. And so that doesn't necessarily cost you any more money to put together, just your time. And it really moves the needle when it comes to increasing those conversions without having to slash the price so much. And so the overall key is making the offer so good that the discount is just the cherry on top. Another way to explain it is that people should want to buy whatever you're selling because of what they're getting, not just because it's cheaper compared to what you offer year round. And so to recap, you need to start planning right now. Number two is that you need to re-engage your list with value to increase their engagement, and so that your future emails have a better chance to land in the inbox, not promotions or tab or spam folders. Number three is to build hype around your promotion or offer. Number four, fix your email deliverability. And number five, stack value beyond just discounts. I really hope this presentation helps you and that it helps you have a killer Black Friday. So drop a comment below if you have any other questions. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I really hope that you have a really good Black Friday promotion. All right, that's it for me. Peace.